If the unseen feels more at home to you than the seen, then this space is for you. Here on Illuminate Your Truth, the spirit world is valid. I'm your host, Elena Isis. Let's dive on in. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am your host, Elena Isis, and I am just so thrilled to be here and just really excited. So today's episode, so we're going to be talking about something pretty, to me, it's like kind of heavy, kind of light, but today we're going to talk about how you can start to heal your sexual religious guilt and shame. Now, I know I'm not the only one who struggles with sexual religious guilt or shame. It's definitely something that I have struggled with pretty much my whole life. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so I was in a religious cult. And in this cult, they really don't condone any kind of sexual behavior before you're married. And they have a lot of control over what it is you can and cannot do. And so under the Jehovah's Witness religion, you are not allowed to masturbate. Masturbation is like a huge no-no. And you're not even allowed to masturbate when you're married. And they say you're not allowed to masturbate each other. So like none of that. And so it's just, so growing up with that, always always thinking that masturbation was bad, but I was a super promiscuous kid and I was always masturbating and my parents always were yelling at me. I just remember being really young and my parents being really mad and would get in trouble. And so people in the religion, you weren't allowed to masturbate and it was bad, and I was always getting that drilled into my head. And I really created a lot of trauma within myself about my sexuality. And I struggle with it even now, even though I'm really heavy in the work of healing it. And I've worked really hard the past year in healing my sexual religious guilt and shame. So today, I really just want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing and the different steps that you can take if you are starting this journey. I have not healed it completely. No, I'm still working on that. But these are the things that I've done that have really helped me on this journey. And boy, has it been very interesting. So let's start. So I think the most important thing that we can do when we're on this journey is start loving ourselves, because this journey is a lot about our bodies and our physical bodies and the action that we take in making sure that we love ourselves, not only on the inside but on the outside. And so I really think that if you are on this path, you should also be on the path of self-love and looking for ways that you can focus on yourself and do what you need to do to start healing in whatever way that looks for you. So for me, it looked like spending more time focusing more time on myself and my physical body. So doing skincare, doing nail care, working out, stretching, eating better, eating healthier, eating more vegetables, eating less processed food, and just trying to be healthy, taking supplements, taking tinctures, making herbal teas daily, and just really stepping into that healthy kind of lifestyle, that healthy, good feeling lifestyle. And that's the way that I started, because it's I got to really think about me and I got to focus on me in order to start this. Another thing I would like to mention, another step, is to have more fun. I really think that joy is a huge thing when you're on this journey, and figuring out what it is that truly makes you happy, what it is that truly does give you joy. So important. Definitely helps whenever you are on this path, because you'll be able to know yourself more. You'll be able to know what you like, know what raises your vibration, know what really assists you, and go from there. Yeah, so have more fun, do more things that bring you joy, do more things that you like to do. Another thing that you can do, and now we're getting more into like the body, okay, and like the sexy. I would suggest self-massage, and I would set this up like a date with yourself, you know, like you are spending this specific amount of time with yourself to touch yourself, to explore your physical body, to literally rub your hands all over your body, to massage your body, to really get into that energy of you. This can be really nice because this is really an intimate moment that you can get with yourself, getting to know yourself again even better. And it taps into the sensual energy, which is what you really want. Another thing I like to do is to take a bath and also make that like a solo date as well. Like light your candles, burn some incense, play some music, do whatever it is that you need to do to really feel that passion, that joy, that sexy kind of energy. Get some roses and just be with yourself. And then we get to masturbation, self-pleasure. That is so important. And whenever you think of masturbation, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, so like I'm touching myself in order to orgasm. It doesn't even really have to be about the orgasm. I think that the orgasm sometimes kind of is overwhelming for us because some of us might not even get there. And so you go in with the idea that you have to orgasm in order to masturbate or to pleasure yourself. And that's really not true. I feel like we block ourselves from orgasming because we feel like we have all these expectations that on what the outcome is supposed to be if we touch ourselves. What the outcome is supposed to be. But really, it's not about any outcome. It's literally just about pleasure. It's about pleasure and understanding that pleasure is okay. Pleasure is okay. Pleasure is good. It's okay to feel good. It's all right to spend some time pleasuring yourself. And so now that we are getting into masturbation and it is not this, we don't have this like goal in mind. We're just touching ourselves. You know, we're just exploring our body, exploring our yoni, you know, or, you know, it's okay to do. And I feel like the more comfortable you get touching yourself and being in the energy of you and being like, oh, that feels good. Like, I really like that. You know, I actually like that. Hey, maybe that spot. Wow, I didn't even know that I enjoyed that spot being touched, you know? And it's just like, you know, you're just learning, you know, there's no expectations here. We're just learning about ourselves and what our bodies like and what we like. And that's okay. And so, you know, masturbation looks different. Obviously, you do whatever it is that you feel like you do. Like, I like vibrators. I also like to just use my hands. But it's whatever you like. You will learn what you like, and then when you be like, oh wow, that's cool. That's interesting. I didn't know that I liked like that. So start masturbating. And again, we're not masturbating with the goal of orgasming. We're just masturbating to explore our bodies and to see what we like. And if we discover something that we really like while we are masturbating or self-pleasuring and we orgasm, that's great. But the orgasm should never be the goal. All right. So another really important thing that I feel super important when you're on this journey of healing your sexual religious guilt and shame is to start healing your womb and your yoni. And if you're a man, if you're a male, your hara. Because the hara is actually the male womb. So like your sacral chakra. And it's really important for us to heal these parts of our body. Why? Because we store a lot of negative energy in these areas. So like your sacral chakra, well, honestly, your solar plexus down. So like your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root chakra, you're going to really want to do a lot of healing work there. You're going to want to send good energy there. So, do energy work there, maybe really focus on healing in that area. Whenever you do this work, you can release different types of negative attachments, negative energy from your body. And sometimes there's even like ancestral trauma there too. There's so many different types of energetic things that we hold in these spots. And once you just start focusing on those areas, talking to those areas, spending time with those areas, and you can do this in the bathtub, this can all just be a ritual, take a bath, focus on your womb, your yoni, your hara, just healing those areas, see what comes up for you, try and heal those, maybe add in some self-pleasure and get to know yourself more. So by doing all of these things, you're just really getting to know your sexuality, learn what it is you like, learn what feels good for you, and that empowers you. That makes you feel really confident, because when you know yourself and you know what you like, you just ooze this confidence, because you don't need someone else to validate anything. You don't need anyone else to tell you what you like. You know what you like. So I definitely say do some womb healing and just really go in and try to clear any kind of negative or stagnant energy that may be there for you. So the next step I want to talk about is doing things that bring you pleasure. Do some things that make you hot. Do some things that bring out your divine feminine. So what does this look like? You could read romance novels. Now, this was like, for me, I was like, I don't know. I have a weird thing with like reading fiction. It's like, if I'm going to read it, it's going to be nonfiction. Well, I started reading romance novels, and oh boy, it does add a level of excitement to your life. You could also do like audiobooks, I like too. But that opens up, that sensual energy, that passionate energy. Being around fresh flowers, I don't know what it is about being around flowers, but it just really oozes divine feminine. Romance movies, like any kind of romance, like I really feel like that puts you in the energy of like pleasure and just really feeling that feminine energy. But do more things that bring you pleasure. Again, it's okay to feel pleasure, but we want to really feel good. I feel like that is just the most important thing, is how we feel, and feeling good. That is a key to this, especially when we are exploring our bodies, exploring ourselves. It's just so important. And next is just like gaining an understanding and researching it for yourself about sex and how sex is sacred. It's a sacred tool, and it can be used to help expand our consciousness. I had my first Kundalini awakening mid-orgasm, and I literally felt my whole spine unlock, and I felt like a shot of electricity. It almost felt like, or lightning, like a lightning bolt going up my spine and all the way out through my head. And I had this vision of my future, and it was so clear. It was so clear, and I knew all the I was shown all the steps that I needed to take to make that happen. And that was like undeniable clarity right there at that moment. Like this is an epiphany, basically, is what I'm talking about. And I had this experience through sex, and it was with my twin flame, my husband, Tyler. And at that moment I knew, and it was a really important moment in my life. And at that moment I was like, wow, I didn't know that this could happen through sex. Like, no one told me this. I didn't read that in a book, but I very clearly knew that is what happened. And so we just have to really understand and do the research for ourselves, experience it ourselves, like how sacred sex is. And it's demonized for that reason, I feel, because it can unlock your consciousness. It can do that. So just learning about sex and how it can be sacred and how you can change the narrative for yourself, because, you know, we're different people now, and we're allowed to get rid of these old ideas that were put into our heads, and we're allowed to make up our own decision about these things, especially our sexuality. It's not embarrassing. It's natural. And I think we need to start being open more about how important it is to honor sex and to utilize it throughout our spiritual journey, because it can bring us, you can manifest through your orgasms. Sex magic is a thing. You know, it's just a beautiful tool that we can use. And we're just so lucky because, you know, we're humans and we get to experience this and do this. So a lot of things are shifting in the collective, and I really feel like sacred sex is really being brought to the forefront. And because in so many different parts of the world, our sexuality is being attacked. And, you know, this is just a better way that you can rebel by getting to know yourself, by loving yourself, by healing any kind of guilt, shame you feel towards your sexuality, because your sexuality is you. It's a part of you, and it's okay. A lot of our sexual aspects are our shadow, and that's a whole nother episode. But, you know, it's you. And the more we get to know ourselves on a physical, spiritual, mental level, then, you know, the more we can unlock within ourselves, and the more we can connect with who we truly are and what we're here to do, and you know, who we're here to be. And that is just a really beautiful thing. Wow. Yeah. So I really don't know if this journey ends. Like, you know, I feel like we're always just going to be healing all these different things. But I can definitely say that I've definitely have loosened up, and I definitely feel better about my sexuality. And I've been doing this work for maybe like 8-9 months now. And, you know, I've been unlocking things and releasing, and I definitely know I feel better because I'm talking about it. And if I carried a lot of the guilt that I had, I wouldn't be talking about it because I would be embarrassed. But, you know, I don't care. And I feel like it's important to discuss because I know I'm not the only one. And I just want to share what's been working for me. So I hope that this episode was helpful for anyone who is struggling with this religious guilt and shame. And I just want to let you know that you're not alone and that we are all in this together. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day. All right. Bye for now. Be sure to subscribe to my show, Illuminate Your Truth. And if you would like to rate my show or leave me a review, feel free to do so. I really appreciate all these things. They just help me on this journey of growth and self-discovery. Grateful for every single one of you for tuning in. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right. Bye for now.